Cannabis Connection in the house.
420 boys in the building.
For the Extreme Retro Review for ECW. February 22nd, 1997. It's actually February 21st and February 22nd because this is a two-shot show.
Oh, okay.
First half was in Queens, New York. Second half is in the ECW arena. A la the Big Ass Extreme Bash. Recounted by us in Extreme Retro Review number 183.
You're welcome.
Greatest ECW podcast in the known and unknown multiverse. Gotta give a shout out to my boy, Shim.
Shim, what's happening? I know we're in the middle of a pandemic and it's winter time, so I ain't even gonna play you and ask you where the hoes at, because that's not even funny right now and shit. I know you probably beating the fuck out of your dick and shit, and that's how it be sometimes, but it's, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes, Shim.
Extreme Wrestling Archive has just put up a couple of months ago, Double Tables, 1995. Recounted by us in Extreme Retro Review number 107.
You're welcome, and oh man, yeah, y'all have fun catching up to us and looking at our smoke trails and shit.
As always, do you even remember when we recorded Double Tables?
No, absolutely not.
I know we were in Bravo when we recorded it. That's the only thing I know.
Okay, all right, well, shoot, that's all that matters then.
And now, the conductor, the engineer, and the road whoreman of the Pony Poon Express.
Yeah.
Hot Stuff Hollywood, the floor is yours.
That's what we about to motherfucking do. And I'm glad to be here for Cyberslam 97. So we start off with probably my favorite ECW tag team going on right now. The Eliminators, they making their way to the ring to defend the tag team championships belts of the world. They're defending them up against Rob Van Dam and Sabu. Before RVD and Sabu come out, Saturn's on the mic cutting a promo and shit. He talks some bullshit, but at the end he says that if Sabu and RVD win, they're going to shake their hands. And then unfortunately I gag because I wasn't feeling that. That wasn't the Eliminators that I know.
I've been telling you for the last several weeks they've been cutting these babyface-ish ass promos, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this, Perry. Yeah, these babyface promos are not clicking with me. They're talking about how they're the best tag team in the world, but they're a part of a bigger team, which is Team ECW, and they're going to be at Raw the next night. And they go off on about RVD and Sabu, and they're going to shake their hands and shit if they win. Terrible.
Yeah, I'm with you. So the match starts off, they have actual wrestling. You know, they're exchanging holds, takedowns, and drop toe holds, and headlocks, and all that shit. Pretty uneventful for the first 10 minutes. The match does eventually pick up, though, and go hardcore and shit.
Yeah, like once they hit that surfboard spot, and then Sabu comes off the top rope with the, you know what I'm saying, with the flying chop or whatever, and then it goes tornado style for the rest of the match, and that's when it really picked up. Because the first part of the match, they're doing the handshake respect deal, and it's all babyface-ish, and which is mad fucking weird because they just beat up Sabu a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, the Eliminators were just Team Taz.
They fucking around with RVD. RVD is clearly a heel. Sabu's a babyface. And I don't know what the Eliminators are because they cutting these babyface promos but still beating up Taz. As you go on in this match, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So things really get sweet when the ladder gets involved. And I got to give props to Saturn because RVD and Sabu beat the fuck out of him with that ladder. He got slammed on that motherfucker. He got I noticed RVD did the Rolling Thunder a quasi Rolling Thunder onto onto Saturn and shit. So I don't know if that was the first ECW Rolling Thunder or not, but it's the first one that I caught, at least anyway. So yeah, Saturn took a ladder to the face and shit. He basically gets murdered with it. There was a spot where Sabu did he tried to do a leg drop onto as Fooch is it's over there giggling.
Sloppy was the theme of this match. Because not only did Sabu fuck up some shit, RVD tried to do a split-legged moonsault with Saturn on the ladder. So he had the ladder, you know what I'm saying, between the two ropes, and he had Saturn on the motherfucking ladder, you know what I'm saying, laterally and shit. RVD tries to do the split-legged moonsault with like, how are you gonna flip backwards with minimal rotation? Completely fucked everything up. I laughed uproariously.
Oh man, and you know that's some great analysis because after the motherfucking wrestling part of shit, got a little sloppy and shit. But ultimately the match ends with RVD, so he gets drop kicked into Sabu by Cronus and shit, and then he gets totally eliminated not once but twice.
Were they not the worst total eliminations you've ever seen?
Oh my goodness! What did I say? Oh shit! I said unfortunately these were a little sloppy total eliminations, but at least it was total elimination.
Even with all the sloppiness, I gave it 3.5. They pulled it out of me, especially after the surfboard spot. They went tornado style because the earlier shit with the tags and the respect and the Malenko Guerrero-esque shit they were doing, it was bullshit. They started doing the flippy flop shit and all the sloppy spots and everything, and I was with it, you know. So I gave it 3.5. Oh yeah, so
the post match.
Yeah.
So post match, both Saturn and Cronus shake hands with Sabu. RVD is having none of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he feels like he's a sore loser or if he just mad he got totally eliminated.
No, because it just plays back to the whole RVD theme of 1996. He's not going to shake anybody's hand regardless if he wins or loses. But if he wins, you better shake his goddamn hand.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So Sabu tries to make this nigga shake the eliminator's hands and stuff. RVD still that I thought him and Sabu was about to fight, but they didn't. But he still, you know what I'm saying, let Sabu, like, you know what I'm saying, fuck these niggas, I about to shake these niggas' hands. And then he did the little fake air handshake deal to all three of them and shit before he powdered out of the ring and shit.
Again, just hollering back to his earlier character tics of not being a mutual admirer of the winner of the match. You know, if he's losing the match, he's not shaking no hand because he's very arrogant and pompous, and he thinks he's better than everyone. So yeah, I'm cool with that part. I'm just more upset about the eliminators and Sabu. Just like they're friends now.
What? Yeah. So I had to break that up a little bit and shit. You know, so not to overstep my role over here as the paragon of professionalism and shit, but I kept it a little separate because after RVD powdered out of the ring, the eliminators took each one of Sabu's hand, raised them up in the air and shit like they was a three-way tag team, like they was the New Day for a second. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on and shit, but thankfully, Sabu leaves, and then they climb up the ladder and pose with the belts and shit as the champs and shit. So I had to break that up a little. Your thoughts on that part right there?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, so next up, we have Joey in the ring, and he introduces the Pit Bulls. They're the Pit Bulls again, everybody, and not Gary and Anthony for like 30 seconds.
Fat Gary comes out. Anthony's doing his terrible Rick Steiner impression. They're like two goofs.
Oh man, the crowd is super pumped for these motherfuckers. Like I don't know if they've been watching because like it looked like the same crowds to me. So it looked like the same niggas who was there when I saw Gary get his neck shook and shit by Shane and shit as he fell down to the ground as a paraplegic and shit. Was the same niggas who was there that was cheering for him. So that's why I was a little confused and shit. But I gotta give Gary props on this and shit because he had a little burn on Shane and shit because he said Shane told him to stop being Shawn Michaels. And my ears perked up. I was like, okay.
Before Joey brings out the pit bulls, he talks about how this is he's formally introducing the show. He's saying that it's the annual internet convention to which the mutants start booing. Fast forward 2020.
Mutants.
They're all internet fans because there's nobody at the shows.
Especially not ECW shows. Yeah. So Shane and Francine, they appear in the back of the arena while the pit bulls and Gary in particular, he's talking his shit.
Franny is looking completely skankalicious.
Yeah, she is and shit. Yeah. So Shane, he didn't appreciate the Shawn Michaels reference.
Not one bit.
Clearly, you know what I'm saying? So he tells the pit bulls to come and get some, you know what I'm saying? Y'all talking all that shit in the ring and shit. Here I am, just me and my bitch. Come on and get some of this and shit. So they marched they dumbasses back to the ECW arena shit. Food, I saw you wanted to hop in. What's on your mind, my brother?
I'm thinking to myself, as he's spilling this profanity-laden tirade, talking about Gary, talking about Anthony, bringing him back to the back. He'll face him. One versus two. I said, wait a minute. Francine's there.
You're right.
So at the very least, it's 1.5 versus 2. But then I still started thinking about it. I said, wait a minute. Gary has a neck like a stack of dimes.
Right.
So it might be quick. It might be 1.5 versus 1.5. These two yutzes waddle their way to the fucking Eagles nest. Shane beats up one with a crutch. Triple Threat comes out, beats up the other one. They get beat up. 3 on 1.5. Franny's got the mic. She's like, yeah, get him. Motherfucking Anthony gets demon dropped again through a table.
Yes, that's the highlight of the segment for me.
Shane's talking shit. Cut Candido is all in motherfucking Anthony's face, just giving him the third degree like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin. These niggas throw up the triple threat. I love heel beat down.
Yes.
And I love when the pit bulls get beat up.
It makes it even better.
Triple threat beating up the pit bulls. This shit was glorious.
I was just gonna say, at this point, this was the highlight of the show for me and shit. Once they started making their way through the crowd, I'm like, oh, this is a motherfucking trap and shit. And I got motherfucking pumped. So yeah, I loved every bit of it.
I liked the first match. The segment was awesome. So I'm like, oh man, we rocking and rolling on Cyberslam 1997. And then all of a sudden, parade of jobbers come out.
Yes. So speaking of parade of jobbers, Tommy Rich is in the FBI now. He comes out with Little Guido. You know, JT Smith was in the FBI, so I'm like, all right, I gotta at least hear this shit out. See how it makes sense and shit. It never does make sense because Tommy Rich is going off on the mic and shit.
This motherfucker is cutting the best Southern heel promo of all time. He is stalling. He is calling everybody fat boys. He's like, hey, I got the mic now. Give me his time. Oh, I am cracking up. This motherfucker has a Hard Rock Cafe jean jacket on. Takes off the Hard Rock Cafe jean jacket. This motherfucker has a vest with a Hard Rock Cafe t-shirt on. I said, holy shit, this motherfucker has the whole Hard Rock Cafe fit on. It's like the motherfucker came to Philadelphia, lost his bags.
Went to the Hard Rock Cafe
In the airport, bought the entire fucking fit with his draw money.
Oh shit, and they gonna talk shit. Oh shit. And all that was fine and dandy. Excuse me. Motherfucker weak got me choking. But yeah, all that was fine and dandy. I was just confused as to what he was doing with Lil Guido and shit. And then I didn't know who the jobber was that they were facing and shit, unfortunately. Even though apparently this wasn't the first time that I've seen this motherfucker, because I went through my notes and I've seen the name Chris Chetty a few times before and shit. So yeah, so it's motherfucking Guido against Chris Chetty with Tommy Rich newly in the FBI.
The rookie, Chris Chetty. Like, okay, so Paulie is lauded as this creative genius.
Right.
He has crafted Raven Dreamer,
Right.
Raven Sandman.
For sure.
He's doing this Taz Sabu deal.
It's shaping up to be good so far.
The rookie, Chris Chetty.
The Ricky Chris Confetti.
The jobber, Chris Spaghetti.
That's the winner right there.
Geek Ortiz starts to make some announcements. Tommy Rich grabs the mic, cuts a second promo. I have no idea what he's talking about. Guido and Chetty have a decent match. It's completely laid out and formulaic. So you've idiot-proofed this match. Spaghetti wins with a roll-up.
I'm glad you provided some analysis on that because, nigga, I literally had like 2 lines for that match. I was like, Tommy Rich is in the FBI. Chetty wins with an inside cradle.
Here's my last line. Post-match, heels tease dissension, but then they do a fake out and they hug.
Yeah. Boo, gay. Next up, we have Balls Mahoney is out to the crowd. He's out in the ring, and then out comes the Blue World Order.
Parade of jobbers.
We have the Blue Meanie.
Jobber.
We have Nova.
Jobber.
We have the 6-pack imitation 7-Eleven.
For that.
And we have the leader and frontman, Big Stevie Cool, Stevie Richards.
Jobber.
You call them jobbers, but I looked at the crowd reaction and there was some genuine excitement for the BWO. And as I have stated, I enjoy on the comedic tip of professional wrestlers, even though Stevie has all the homosexual tendencies and shit.
He rubbed his ass in that motherfucker's face, man.
I can't condone that. You know, I can't and I don't condone that. You know what I'm saying?
I will say this. Once again, Balls Mahoney got himself over.
He did.
They were doing the Balls chant, and it was legit. It was eerily reminiscent of the Shah.
Yeah, no, it was exactly the shot.
And speaking of which, you know, Shah's been out since November to Remember 1996. Recounted by us Extreme. Retro Review number 231.
You're welcome. Is he coming back?
Yeah.
Oh,
He'll be back.
not that I miss him, because I didn't notice it till you said so. I did notice the Shaw shit. Oh, yeah, no, I thought about him once when they were saying Shaw shit when Stevie was having the upper hand and shit. So ultimately, as Fuge alluded to, they have a pretty good back and forth match. Stevie does get the victory after kicking Mahoney in the face with the Stevie kick. Post-match, a groupie tries to get in the ring when Stevie is trying to get his Shawn Michaels onto the crowd and playing with his shorts and shit. Some bitch runs into the ring and security removes her and shit. Food, your thoughts.
I was a fan of none of this.
No?
None.
Oh man, that is interesting because I was thoroughly entertained, especially after Stevie got the. Well, I was entertained when them niggas was coming out and shit, and then I know Stevie was showing star potential, especially right here. Like right here, it seemed like he was on the cusp of being a giant star. I felt like.
So, the idiots come out from the entranceway, and then they go through the crowd. And then Joey has to play dumb, like, where'd they go? Then he calls them the insiders. The goofs. They don't do anything the entire match. So why are you out there? If Stevie's going to do this shit one-on-one, why are you out there? Why do you need to be out there? What antics are... I mean, anything you do is going to draw away from Stevie. Who you're trying to push as this star. Right. So I can at least respect it if y'all were doing heel shit. They're cheating, doing this elaborate cheating shit, you know what I'm saying? Stevie's pulling out the wins and shit. But no, Stevie's in there one-on-one. And so now they're doing this one-on-one match. It's half speed as fuck. And it's thoroughly competent, but they look like they're going through the motions. Stevie is telegraphing the arm drags. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the, the drop down, float over, drop kick combo shit that you see in, every rookie goddamn match. And they're doing it at 2/3 speed.
He's in there with Boss Mahoney, though. We're talking about the great Stevie Richards and Boss Mahoney and shit. Now, let's keep it 1,000. 1,000. Let's keep it 1,000 about Stevie. He's been on top of his game probably, we in 97, since 95.
No, I'm not knocking Stevie Richards' competence in the ring. It's for a person who's been in the ring as long as he has been and comfortable in front of that crowd with a guy like Balls who's been working in Smoky Mountain and working in WWF. Okay, so he's been around. They should not have had such a slow-paced match for what they were doing. In the early part of the match, everything was very telegraphed. By the time the finish came, I knew Stevie was going over. Okay, so it was a foregone conclusion that Stevie was going over. I didn't think in no way in hell that Balls was going to get a win.
Right.
It was just a credit to how good Balls is that he got over with going the pace that they did. It should have been faster. No. But I will attribute to being that maybe it was their first time in the ring.
That's fair. Because I was going to say, because while I feel like Balls did got over, I felt like he was the reason the match might have slowed down a little bit and shit. Cause I don't know. I felt like Stevie was waiting on Balls on certain areas. You know what I'm saying? So
that's fair because he was waiting, but in the art of professional wrestling, it's like, okay, if you got to make up for somebody's inefficiencies or deficiencies, and in this case, Balls being so goddamn slow, do something else. Are you not able to think on your feet? Now, granted, you might have been in the business 3-4 years at this point, so maybe you haven't developed that yet. Maybe you could look at, as a 20-year vet, he's looking back at those ECW matches and going, "Ooh, I should have did this."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And hindsight is always 20/20.
For sure.
So whatever. Next match.
Like me and my botched threesome. So yeah, next up, speaking of parade of jobbers, we have Axel Rotten versus Spike Dudley.
Just jobbers, y'all. 3 matches in a row of jobbers.
Oh, it takes everything that I have not to tune out to this shit. Axel beats the hell out of Spike before Spike goes into Rey Mysterio mode. He's running and jumping all over the place. As I switch my page, I can probably hear that and shit. The Dudleys come out to add a distraction to Spike.
To Spike!
Well, Axel gets the win. I didn't know what to call it. I put the Dominator, but I know that's...
No, Dominator. Okay. That's exactly what it was. It was the Dominator.
Axel gets the win with the Dominator. My favorite part of the whole thing is when Spike gets the 3D. Even though I feel like Axel, because he assisted with the hoisting part of it, I feel like he took a little bit away from it and shit.
Definitely. However, it was hilarious though. I like when different heels just team up for no reason. We're just bad guys.
Right.
I'll help you. 3D? Fuck it.
I got a leg. So apparently the gangsters wasn't appreciating that as much as we were. Because they come out and then they start working with the Dudleys and shit. Then the post-match transitions into and unless I read this wrong, but I had the post-match transitions into the Gangsters versus the Dudleys. Now, did I have that right, or was
I mean, it was a match. Okay. It was a match. It was terrible. Yeah. But technically speaking, it was a match.
I was a little confused because I'm like, damn, was this a 6-man or is this?
No, it was a 2-on-2. It was a 2-on-2, but no, it was awful though.
Yeah, because they beat the hell out of each other and shit. New Jack almost kills himself.
So they fighting on the floor and shit. They eventually get Devon on the table.
Yeah.
He climbs up to the top, Eagle's Nest. He pushes some kid and some stage nigga out the way, runs and jumps. He's swimming in the air. This nigga puts a hand on this nigga.
5% of his body hit Devon on that table.
These mutants cheered anyway.
Yeah, because he almost killed himself, and he didn't. And I guess they appreciated it.
We giving out participation cheers and shit in ECW now.
And then Joey's trying to sell it as a flying headbutt from the Eagles.
You know how you say, how I always call the Tape Trader show coveted, and illustrious, and highly elusive with a straight face.
I do.
Like how I get off doing that every week.
It's It's like the 9th wonder of the world for me. No, the 10th wonder.
When Joey tried to sell that shit as a flying hellbutt, I felt that shit. With a straight face.
Yeah. Welcome to my world, fools. Yeah, because, it looked like a suicide attempt and shit, because, literally, like you said, his hand caught him. Meanwhile, his face, torso, and the rest of his body caught nothing but concrete and shit as it smacked on the motherfucking ground and shit.
Devon on the table still shaking his leg like he having a calfgasm and shit. Oh.
To Devon's credit, he sold the shit out of that shit like he got shot with a shotgun and shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I could appreciate that. So the match ends with New Jack. So he jumps off the top rope. So he's initially about to try to do the flying chair deal and shit, but he gets distracted, and throws the chair at
Axel.
At motherfucking Axel shit. He jumps off the top rope and catches a motherfucking RKO. He gets RKO'd into obliterate by Bubba Ray Dudley.
I went from a dud to 2.5 immediately for the finish alone.
Yeah, that shit was hot as fuck. 1, 2, 3, Dudley's win. Food, your thoughts.
Outside of, like I said, the match was terrible. New Jack, touching concrete was awesome. The finish was awful. Axel was just lazy booking. That's the reason why Axel was still out there, you know what I'm saying? Because Axel...
It was weird.
No, Axel was already beating up Spike Dudley. You know what I'm saying? The Dudleys came out, they did the triple 3D and shit.
Right.
Okay? So then Axel's still out there because now he got they back for the gangsters and shit. So, I get it. I get why he's out there. I just think it's lazy. But going into the Bubba Cutter absolves all that shit. Dud to 2.5 immediately. I love that part.
That shit was dope as fuck. So next up, we have Taz versus the new to ECW and the new to the graveyard, Tracy Smothers. Rest in peace. They're facing. Oh, I even wrote in my notes. Rest in peace. Just so.
Rest in peace aside. Still another jobber.
Yeah, because he's on the path of rage right now. You know what I'm saying? And it was an extended squizzash because Smothers, so he tries to have a little fight, but he goes down on the path of rage. You know how it goes. T-bone Tazplex into the Kata Hajime. This motherfucker taps out. Taz wins. Fool's your thoughts.
I mean, come on, really? This motherfucker got 3 moves in. Joey tried to sell that shit. He said he hit him with the jaw jacker. Yo, I felt that shit again.
Pause.
Hey, sometimes you gotta put shit over that's hard to put over.
I mean, but still, I was like this. Come on, dog nuts. Come on, doggy dog.
You know what I'm saying? There's a jaw jacker on Taz. You know what I'm saying?
Who cares?
Joey.
The geeks. Jim Cornette.
So if y'all don't know by now, I'm a mark for the Kata Hajime, aka the Taz mission and shit. So next up, we have Raven. He's out with the real American badass Brian Lee. He's on loan from the Triple Threat and shit.
As well as the Undead Bulldozer.
Oh yes, can't forget that and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's out to face. Oh well, they're out together. They're a team, as a matter of fact. They're gonna face Tommy Dreamer and the person that I hate with the most intense feeling, and like with every ounce of my body. Like I don't know how many molecules that I have in my body and shit, but like whatever the minimum is required to keep me alive and shit, those are dedicated to keeping me alive, and then all the rest is dedicated to me hating Terry Funk and shit. Like every free molecule that I have, every free ounce of my being for the 0 subscribers, I'm clutching my chest right now, because if Terry Funk was in front of me right now, I would just headbutt him right in his nose and shit and just watch him bleed. He probably wouldn't die because he has that. So this match is going on, and like I just like every time Terry Funk is facing somebody, like I just root so intense. Like I was never a Tommy Rich fan in my life until he fought that nigga a couple weeks ago and shit. So I'm rooting for Raven and Brian Lee. I love this match because like I like this is the closest that like I watched Shane recreate the multiverse, but watching Brian Lee beat Terry Funk I'm skipping ahead. Yeah, fuck all that shit. To the part where Brian Lee is beating Terry Funk repeatedly in the head with an aluminum garbage can, just like douche. And Tommy is like, Terry's beat the fuck up to the point where Tommy's trying to save him. He's Captain Save-A-Ho and shit by this point and shit. And he done got hit in the head a few times and shit. And Brian Lee just still teeing off on this motherfucker with his chest. And I'm like, yes, my eyes just getting bigger and bigger with each blow to the head and shit.
Pause.
And Terry Funk has that wild-eyed look in his eyes and shit. He's doesn't know where he's at and shit, and he's like this close. Like I have my thumb and my index finger separated by 3 inches roughly and shit. That's how close we were to being done with Terry Funk. But this is why I need to win the trivia championship, and we need to strip Mad Jack Slater of the Name Game Championship so I can go ahead and do what Shane Douglas couldn't do, or what Brian Lee almost do, and eradicate Terry Funk from the multiverse once and for all when I unified the championships at motherfucking Street Smart Audio 300, but that's neither here nor there. But Terry Funk almost died right here, and I loved every second of it. Just real quick, I should probably say what the finish was and shit. Oh no, there was no finish and shit because ultimately they just dragged Terry Funk out because he was just beat the fuck up. And they was trying to save him from a further beating. So what? No contest or
From the notes, if Funk pins Raven, he gets a shot at the pay-per-view.
oh that part. Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Putz has never beat Raven in anything, to include 2 years of Extreme Championship Wrestling. So there's no tricks right now. Pin me right now. Easy fucking psychology. Because if Tommy Dreamer pins Raven, Terry Funk doesn't get his shot at the pay-per-view. Tommy Dreamer, being a putz, is fighting over it. Oh my God, what should I do? They have this fucking fight, whatever. They brawl in the crowd for a bit. I said, if I'm putz, I never go near Brian Lee. Because he's going to kill you.
If he's smart.
Funk and Raven are in the ring. Raven with the mic and he's talking shit. Funk gets on the mic, and he gets the upper hand. The heels separate Putz, and they isolate Funk with multiple trash can shots. Raven's yelling, finish him off. Putz is trying to cover Funk and take the shots, but Funk will not stay down. Terry Funk's refusing Tommy Dreamer's help and pleads, and he's refusing Tommy Dreamer's help. He's refusing Tommy Dreamer's pleas to give up. Damage control comes out as the heels both hit the martyr pose. Terry Funk gets dragged onto a stretcher. Funk starts flailing around, and I see Beulah with some boy shorts on. Nice. The BWO then walk down.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Peaches is in a blue sequin dress.
Gross.
And Tyler has on Meanie's cutoff shirt. Stevie's pissed at the heels. He gets punched and choke slammed after teasing the Stevie kick.
Yeah, because Raven dared him to super kick him and shit. Or Stevie kick him and shit.
The crowd then yells for Sandman. Peaches gets in the ring. She gets slapped and DDT'd.
Yeah.
Tyler then powders to go get help. And he got, of all people, Tommy Dreamer. Why?
Why?
This kid is an idiot. Tommy Dreamer then gets in the ring. He gets chokeslammed. Tyler powders again and comes back with his dad. Sandman cleans house. Mullinope slides in for no reason and counts the pin on Raven, DDT'd by the Sandman.
Why would Tyler go get Tommy Dreamer in the first place when he been watching his previous dad, Raven, beat the fuck out of this nigga all this time and shit? That shit don't even make sense and shit.
Where is 1995 troubleshooting referee Bill Alfonso? Sandman takes his kid, picks him up, starts to parade him around, hugs him, and then takes off his shirt.
Yeah, which is because he was rocking a BWO shirt not too long ago, but his son had one on, and he took it off. So that was weird and shit. And reminiscent of Terry Funk, who try to make niggas topless.
Tommy Dreamer then stands over Stevie Richards, helps him up. Stevie officially turns babyface, and this ends the Tommy Dreamer Stevie Richards feud. Stretching back all the way to 1994.
Oh, shit.
And then the show ends. Psych.
Probably should have.
I thought that was the main event.
No. So you have this, you have the real main event of Chris Cook Candido facing off against Sabu. Cook Candido is out first. He's in the ring cutting a promo. He's bitching and whining and talking about he's about to take all his frustrations out on Sabu.
He spit on some mark before he cut this promo.
Oh shit.
You would have to kill me if you spit on me. You know what I'm saying? I know there's some motherfucking talkative motherfuckers and a little, spit, you know what I'm saying, fire in your face and shit. Hey, nigga, you spit on me, man. You know what I'm saying? Calm down.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? But this nigga, you know what I'm saying, hawk to and spit on a nigga.
Loogie,
yeah, you would have to kill me.
That's a problem. But so all right, so we bring up a good question because when I can't remember if it was last week's show or the show before that, but Sandman spit it. He took a swig of a brew coming down the aisle and shit. It was the one where they was in the motherfucking rollerblade center and shit.
the USA?
yeah, USA skates.
Yeah, I'm not sitting anywhere near this nigga where he's spitting on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't when I went to, stand-up shows and shit, I'm not sitting in the front because you're not heckling me. Because I'm still on a nigga. We shooting a fair one because I didn't come here to get heckled. Nah, I didn't pay money for that shit. I didn't even pay money to get spit on. Yeah. I didn't pay money for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm watching y'all. I ain't part of the shit.
Yeah, I'm not part. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not. I'm on YouTube criticizing your soft ass.
I'm reviewing your ass. I ain't part of your. All right, I felt that. Oh man, so yeah, he's bitching and whining and shit. Man, so these motherfuckers, they have a good match overall. I would say Cuck Candido held his own against Sabu. One thing I did realize is that he looks funny as fuck when his hair gets all frazzled and shit. Trying to think of a motherfucking adjective since Thursday when I watched this shit to describe how he looks with his hair is all fucked up, but it's just hilarious. But anyway, Sabu wins with the motherfucking So he jumped off a chair, jumped onto the literal top rope, not the top turnbuckle, but the rope itself. Dropped a leg drop onto Candido. 1, 2, 3 gets the win. Post-match, Candido turns fag and kisses Sabu's ass and shit and shakes his hand and sucks his dick and all that shit. Food, your thoughts?
So I couldn't be bothered because when he cut the heel promo, he's talking about how Sabu's going through tables, ladders, and chairs and shit, and he don't do that shit. And then they did that shit. Beat him with the triple jump that had a chair. Then cut the babyface promo. Fuck it, I couldn't rate this shit. It's so retarded.
And it was the main event.
For what reason? So basically, since Sabu had to pull double duty, Cut politicked and made himself the main event so he get the main event money and shit. That's the only fucking reason it makes sense. Because otherwise, Funk and the tag match should have went last.
Yeah, you would think that would be the end, even though that tag match shouldn't main event the motherfucking show.
But at least it had storyline ramifications and shit. This is just a fucking match.
A random ass match at that.
For what? Then he got the babyface promo afterwards.
Now is he going back to the triple threat after this?
Yes, he is. So when I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the Eliminator shit early in the show, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Then I look at the main event, which makes no motherfucking sense. I don't know, man. Overall, I just had to put, I don't know, man.
You know what this is. You know what this is. So Taz, as far as how he's been booked, he got all the momentum behind him and shit. And then this is probably Paulie and shit trying to get some extra momentum behind Sabu, using the motherfucking Eliminators and using Candido as they roll into Barely Legal so they can hype up this shit.
What the fuck have I been talking about since 1996 about Sabu's booking on the way to the first pay-per-view? I don't know, man.
Yeah. Oh man, they have a lot of faith in Sabu's name power, apparently, and shit.
Oh, the geeks are on. It's over. They got him.
Oh my goodness,
it's a wrap.
Really though? Really? Like,
they about to get on pay-per-view based on Sabu.
I can getting behind Taz in the Path of Rage because he been a dog. and shit the whole way through and shit
All right,
without
so-
the world title.
Who drew WrestleMania 1?
Hulk Hogan and Mr. T.
Was it Hulk Hogan or was it Roddy Piper? People wanting to see Roddy Piper getting his ass whipped by Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, because before WrestleMania they had
It's not something you can quantify. You see what I'm saying? It's the question. It's like chicken or the egg.
Well, ultimately though, WrestleMania was a brainchild of Vince to have a motherfucking super event.
You're not. I'm sorry for cutting you off. It's just you're not getting what I'm saying. Was it Hogan? People want to see Hogan, or was it people wanting to see Hogan beat up Roddy Piper? It's not an answer. It's not a right or wrong answer.
Because that's a great question.
You see what I'm saying? But here's I flipped that to ECW. You know what I'm saying?
Do people want to see Taz get beat up, or do they want to?
Do they want to see? Right? Do they want to see? Okay, they want to see the boys face off. Fine, they're facing off. Taz has his fans.
I'm one raising my hand.
Sabu is Lord of the Mutants.
He's a spot monkey, though. Mutants.
Regardless, they love him. They've been loving him the whole time. You know what I'm saying? They pulled their penises out. You know what I'm saying? When he came back, they cried and yelled "fuck Sabu" when he left. They love this motherfucker.
He's a good spot monkey, but still.
And they fucked up everything in ring with Sabu the whole year. It should have been 2 parallel pushes.
Yeah.
But they had this motherfucker. He had to get his friend over.
Yeah.
Which pissed off Taz backstage because he's like, "Yo, how you let your boy beat you? I'm supposed to be beating you at the big show."
Right.
So they had real heat. But regardless,
God damn it.
But I'm telling you, Taz been beating everybody. Sabu has barely beat anybody.
And struggled in the times he has won.
And now you want to heat him up in this bullshit main event match. That means nothing. So Cuck's doing the job for no reason. He has no reason to do the job. That's why RVD did the job in the earlier match. So Sabu couldn't do the job because Sabu would have did the job. But Sabu's been doing jobs.
Right.
When Sabu should never been doing jobs.
Right. As he's getting pushed towards the first pay-per-view as like this is motherfucking Hogan and Warrior.
How can you do Hogan and Warrior when Warrior is coming in losing to motherfucking Honky Tonk Man?
You can't.
Struggling against Don Morocco.
It don't make sense.
Going 50-50 with Jake the Snake Roberts. And you want to build to WrestleMania 6?
I wish y'all could see the Fuji's face right now. He's so passionate right now.
Coming up next, we hitting the cross-dimensional, gravitational positron once again because the Extreme Retro Review is going to Stanford. Monday Night Raw is our next stop.
Oh, I'm so excited.
But until then, always know that life is a work, so make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.
Peace.